I'd now like to introduce you to Maarten Slendebroek from BlackRock, who's head of BlackRock's international retail business. And I'd like to call upon Maarten to come up and say a few words to you, please. Thank you, Maarten.
Good evening, and thank you very much, Stephen. Regrettably, there are no prizes for guessing where I was born or how many vowels there are in my name, 7. But I'm here as representing the sponsors of the evening. And I should also declare that I'm a 52% taxpayer and do use advice of the members of your association, AIFA. Some say that RDR will decimate the AIFA community. I don't stand here to predict the imminent demise of the AIFA, and instead I want to liken the independent financial advisors to Robert De Niro in Cape Fear, or, if you haven't seen that film, to Sven-Goran Eriksson in UK football. Meaning, you think they're dead and buried, but they keep coming back. My view is that the AIFA's resilience, once again, will exceed all expectations, and wouldn't have signed up for the sponsorship of tonight if I didn't do that. I'll keep my comments short because I know the role of the sponsor at these kind of events. We pay for your drinks and dinner. But I want to draw your attention to 3 topics. First, choose your language carefully. The RDR headlines are all about the ban on inducements. 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 I mean, you've already lost the argument before it started. It's a dirty word. It's somehow a little bit suspect, possibly illegal. We should never have accepted that language. And because it colored the debate right from the beginning. I have a plan, however, and if we stick to this in this room from now on, we will call RDR RDR1. Just like there is MiFID II and UCITS 4 and all these other initiatives, and I promise you that if we repeat the words RDR1, it will grind its way into the public conscience, suggesting that RDR1 is just a thing before RDR2, when it obviously will change again, as probably determined by MiFID II. I will not go into the legal details of MiFID II, but one thing that you should understand is that RDR was given as an exemption of MiFID I. That's an important detail to remember. We need, and this is my second point, to convince the world and ourselves that we're a force for good. Our industry spends too much time defending the indefensible. We and you are really a true force for good, and let's remind ourselves and the public of that. UCITS 4, UCITS 5, MiFID II, RDR and FATCA, and there are many of these abbreviations or acronyms, are clearly not topics that the average investor will be familiar with. But many of the themes encapsulated in these initiatives, like transparency, really resonate across a wide section of society. And it's worth remembering that the undertakings for collective investments, such as unit trusts, were specifically invented for the smaller investor. And the concept is that by clubbing together, the costs of doing business can be reduced to the benefit of all unit holders in a collective investment scheme. And my view is that independent financial advisors are in a very, very strong position to argue in favor of a voluntary code of conduct and disclosure based on transparency of the total cost of ownership of any financial products, or should I say, packaged retail investment product. That goes well beyond the avalanche of acronyms that regulators, and dare I say Brussels, where I'm not from, throws at us, and through IFAs is provided in plain English. My third topic and final one, before I summarize, will be raising our standards. Although it's tempting for a Dutchman, I will not stray into a debate about moral rectitude, fairness, and ethical principles, but I can take you on afterwards. However, we need to continuously raise our professional standards, and here I think professional and ethical standards, not only to reflect, but also to lead the communities that we serve. In terms of professional standards, I think that the UK is leading the way in Europe, and the problem is not in this country but in other countries, because there are many countries out there in Europe where you can just put a sign in your garden and you're off. And we set the term, or you set the term I should say, 25 years here, sorry for the confusion, set the standards in Europe. In terms of ethics, I hope that we can agree that bowling intentional no balls is bad. And yes, we do play cricket in Holland too. Mis-selling endowment mortgages to pensioners, that was really bad. And cooking up synthetic CDOs was very clever, but also bad. However, getting paid for giving advice, independent financial advice, is good, because such advice helps clients to plan their financial future, their children's education, their mortgage repayments, and their retirement. And let's not be shy about that. Service and advice costs money. Lawyers, accountants, and your lifestyle gurus and personal trainers don't have a problem charging, so why should you? In summary, I want to move on from having this public debate again and again and again to providing a clearly understood compass for commentators, clients, and unit holders in funds. By having clear objectives and benchmarks for each and every fund, sub-fund, and compartment. By providing full transparency of the total cost of ownership of all packaged retail investment products, and not just unit trusts or mutual funds or things that are easily captured by UCITS. For private investors, we should provide clear choices expressed in easily understood language, which we don't today. And good independent financial advice tailored to the unique personal circumstances cost money. And IFAs, in my opinion, are in a great position to be the provider of choice. BlackRock believes in the value of independent advice. And I expect to see you confounding the doomsayers by showing up in rude health in 2013. Good luck with that, and thank you in advance for your continued support after 2013. Thank you very much. Good night.